How did Perestroika fail to adapt to new economies? Imagine trying to fix a complex machine with a few simple tweaks and expecting it to run smoothly. That's pretty much what happened with Perestroika in the Soviet Union. It was launched in the mid-1980s by Mikhail Gorbachev to revamp the economy. The goal was to introduce some market ideas into the socialist system. But the problem was, these reforms were only partial. They allowed some factories to have limited autonomy and let prices be set a little more freely. Still, the government kept most prices heavily subsidized, which distorted the signals that markets relying on. This meant that prices didn't reflect true supply and demand, causing confusion and inefficiency. Gorbachev thought small reforms would be enough to boost growth and tech progress. But by the late 1980s, it was clear that the economy needed bigger changes. The reforms created contradictions. The state kept controlling most resources, but it also tried to let some private enterprise operate. This clash led to shortages of basic goods like food and clothing. Even though the Soviet Union produced plenty, the supply chains were broken because the old distribution system was being dismantled before a new one was in place. People faced empty shelves and long lines, which hurt public confidence. Politically, Perestroika was happening at a time when the Soviet Union was loosening its grip on Eastern Europe. Nationalist movements grew stronger within the USSR itself. Gorbachev's gradual approach meant many reforms were announced but not fully implemented. This slow pace caused economic paralysis. Attempts to cut subsidies and let prices reflected market conditions came too late and were too limited. Inflation soared, and shortages worsened. From a broader view, Perestroika failed because it abandoned the core ideas of planned socialism without creating a solid alternative. It tried to keep some social protections while introducing market elements, but these two ideas clashed. The reforms weakened the government's control without establishing a true market economy. This led to chaos, loss of trust, and eventually the collapse of the Soviet system. In the end, Perestroika couldn't keep up with the changing global economy. It was a half-hearted effort that didn't fully embrace the new economic realities. Instead of creating a smooth transition, it created confusion and instability. The reforms didn't preserve the strengths of socialism or build a functioning market system, which is why the Soviet Union faced such turmoil and ultimately dissolved.